Ancient technologies. Ramp blocks. Essentially blocks that are used for ramps. That's the theory for me. These specific ones right here. Let's see them over here at a different angle. So, as you can see, you could lift up, drag up, roll up, whatever you want to call it, right? Up this slope onto the top and then start stacking. Obviously, you want to stack from inside out, not outside in, because then you're just going to wall yourself out of being able to use this as a ramp to get blocks onto the pyramid. You definitely want to build from center outward, right? Build center, then build your way out to where the ramp blocks are, like in my little Lego example. Right? You go up the ramp with the blocks, stack them, do what you gotta do, and start stacking them up to build a step pyramid like structure, right? Like you have over here, you got these step pyramids that build the core of the pyramid, and then you'll start filling it in order to get a much smoother, flatter surface. An example of that would be this image over here. You see there's 3 layers, right? 3 steps. And then over here is you cover it up to try to get that triangle, that pyramid shape. So this right here is a small example of how to build a pyramid, right? Build up as a step pyramid first, right? Build it up in steps, and then on your way down, start filling it out. Slowly filling it out. So when you get to the bottom, it should be smooth from top to bottom, right? So you'll be filling it from top, right? All the way to the bottom. Doing the step pyramid, the step up method, right? Where you take a block, you slide it up, right? To the top of the platform up here. Then you want to lift it up, or use another ramp right here, right? And go up the ramp and put the block up here. And then of course, if there's space right here where that pink block is, take the red block, slide it over. That way you can take another block, ramp it up here, right? Bring it up here to the ramp, put it up here, and put it to where the red Lego is at. Right there you have 2 blocks. Right now, this is 2 blocks high. And then, you put on a block over here, and then take that block, slide it over so it's over on top of here. Take the red block, move it over here where the pink block used to be, and then you can ramp up another block. Up, and put it here where the red block is at. Right? And that's how you'll be able to start building up a 4 block, 4 block, 2 blocks high, structure in the middle, right? And then you start adding blocks to the outside to step up into the top 4, and then go from there and keep doing the ramp, step up, move, ramp, step up, move. Right? Because the easiest way of doing things, right, is to pick it up and put it on top. Pick it up, put it on top, right? But you would need a big giant crane, right? You would need a big giant human to pick up the blocks and stack it on top, right? Which they didn't really have access to like that. So you have to drag, right? Lift, push, pull, slide, lift, left and right. You're gonna have to do a lot of things to stack them. But one way to help, obviously, would be to use ramps, right? To use blocks specifically for the purpose of using them as ramps. And the fact that you can move them around since they're blocks, right? You lift them up, move them somewhere to different positions, and start using them as ramps, right? And it's the fact that you can also stack the ramps, right? To stack the blocks on top of blocks to try to create a steeper ramp. So another thing about the ramp idea, right? The slope is the fact that you could roll things up. So not the blocks don't have to be square for you to roll them up, right? But interesting enough, I have an image over here somewhere. Not there. Check it here. This image right here. You see all these square grids right here. So they say this is where a lot of the blocks for the Great Pyramid was quarried from. And you see a lot of block-like shape, right? A lot of square shapes there. So this does show that it's like, all right, they more likely did cut the blocks in block shape, right? And then moved them and then used them instead of cutting out tubular or round blocks and then roll them up towards the pyramid and then roll them up and then use them. So they were essentially block, which will lead to the use of sled and stuff like that. Because you're not trying to drag the rocks on rocks, you rather drag the wood on rocks, right? So there's that. This is the newest find, which is the inside of the chevrons. They call it chevrons. And if you look at them, they look like the ramp blocks that I call them ramp blocks, right? So it's this type of block with this diagonal cut. You see, there's like 4 of them right here, one stacked on top of each other. So there's a possibility that these were used at the top, right, to help build the pyramid. And once they were done with them, instead of bringing them back down, they decided to just use them to do this structure. Also use similar use for King's Chamber. The Queen's Chamber, that way they didn't have to bring them back down. They just decided to just use them as part of that construction, I guess. In this image, if you look really closely, the stones on the inside, which will be the top surface of the stone where it stands at, you see some vitrification. You also see some indentations, but those more likely chisel marks, so that way they can put wood there to have the wood hold this up while they create this pattern. But why would the stone be basically burnt? 2 ways you can get a burnt-like effect on rock would be friction and high heat, like fire or sunlight. So the possibility that these had stuff rolling, being pushed and used over and over again, so they had rocks rubbing on rocks. And that's another thing. You can get a smooth surface or a glossy-like surface through rocks rubbing against rocks, and you create friction, right? So something to keep in mind. So it's just something I noticed. Why something in here that hasn't been seen for over 4,000 years, why does it look like it's burnt, right? Maybe because it was used before it's put there. Like, it wasn't just put there just to be put there. Like, it wasn't cut from the quarry, brought over here, and then placed there for this, for this design here. It was actually used for something prior to being used for this, which means this is recycled. This was something recycled from the construction of the pyramid, and then this was used to build this when they were done using this for whatever they were using it for, which I believe they were using it as a form of ramp, as a strong, portable ramp, stone ramp, or ramp block as I call it. So what else? And of course, it's not enough to just have ramps. Also having, cranes, like or lever, with counterbalance on it, seesaw type effect or scale type effect, whatever you want to call it. Basically simplify leverage cranes and help you to lift up the blocks, or at least to pull up the blocks up the ramps, right? Because an interesting thing you can do, right, is you could take like a block, right, and then put it against the ramp block, right, tilt it so that way it tilts to the, against the ramp part, right, the slant, and then it's just a matter of pushing and pulling, right, to slide up. Another thing you could do is, like I said, lean it over right against the slant, and then try to roll it up. Try to roll it up instead of sliding it up, right? Roll it up, cause it to flip over. So push it up high enough that half of the block reaches the top corner of top edge. I mean, the top edge of the block, this ramp block, that we could tilt it over, and then now it's on top. So it's tilt, slide up a little bit, tilt, and then slide forward. So it's a lot of tilting, sliding, tilt, slide, right? That way you're not completely lifting straight up or lifting diagonally straight up, diagonally up. So tilting, makes it easier. It's just an idea, right? The idea of like simplifying the process of moving heavy objects from point A to point B with the least amount of effort. And this is a method that I use when like I had to move big heavy objects up slopes and stuff like that, or up onto a surface. This is, one of the things I do is that I lean the object at a 45-degree angle against whatever I'm going to stack it on top of. Then I pick it up from the bottom of it, pick it up. That way the top will fall over on top of the block or whatever surface I'm trying to put something on. Like for example, let's say I'm trying to put something in the back of a pickup truck. Well, I'm not going to lift it up and put it on the truck, right? So if I'm trying to put a fridge, for example, I will tilt the fridge over so it's at a 45-degree angle to the back of the truck. Then start lifting the bottom. Try to lift it up at a 45-degree angle, just enough. Don't need to lift it all the way up, just enough that it starts, the top of it starts falling over because of gravity. And then I just slowly lift it up, and I let the whole counterweight, right? Let gravity assist me in, lifting it up, having it straight. Now the refrigerator is flat, and I could push it forward, right? Slide it into the truck, and there you go. This is the kind of stuff I've done. Of course, that's not like I said, it's the idea of working smarter, not harder. You want to simplify what you're doing. As you can see, the blocks are really big. Like I said, not 100-ton block doing the whole refrigerator strategy, but it works. Especially if I'm doing it all by myself. So if I had more help, it would be done faster. But we will still use the same method, just more people, so it gets done faster, less energy being used. And that's the thing. You want to use less energy when you do stuff, so that's why you want to simplify the strategies. Because look how tall these blocks are. So imagine trying to go up these blocks, like trying to climb up them, like if they're steps, they're pretty big. They're bigger than how you could stretch out your legs to even try to climb it. So you have to try to use your arms and lift yourself up to even go up. So clearly they need some form of ramp system. What else? Elevate, not elevate, and to say ladder. If you look over here in this image with the sled, instead of being like a solid piece, you notice it's designed kind of like a ladder, right? And then I noticed that it has like I wish I had a much better image of the sled, but it looks like a ladder. It has like the ramp block cut, like the slanted 45-degree cut I was on the back of it, which is possible that they used it. They use these as ladders, and they would place it in the 45-degree angle cut will make it where the ladder would be in a 45-degree angle, right? So that way you can climb. So the sleds serve multiple purposes. It wasn't just to help you move things around. It was also to help you climb up ladders. So that was the other thing. But I noticed, I always keep thinking like, oh, they're going to need ladders to move up and down the pyramid. So them using the sleds as ladders is obviously going to be a smart idea. I mean, it's what I would do. Right? Smarter, not harder. And that's the end of the video.